Hey, this is James Belton, and we're our last day today at Yosemite National Park. Then we're heading to Southern California. And what I wanted to get out for you today was kind of my blueprint for what I would do if I had $10,000 and was starting right now, and exactly where I would put it and how I would kind of think through it. So I made this spreadsheet for you, and I will leave a link to this spreadsheet. Again, please do not try to edit my spreadsheet. Go to File, make a copy, and then you can have your own spreadsheet, and then you don't have to request for access. You can't change mine. But basically, this lets you put a starting capital here, and so this blueprint will work well with anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000. I have you diversifying between 5 different projects here, and the 5 that I have in this spreadsheet are yield nodes, EMP, grape, drip, and elephant money. Okay, so those are the 5 that I have. And again, I put over here a list. These are other projects that you know, if you prefer some of these, you could kind of put these in instead. So like Horde, Bomb Money, LF Finance, Piston Token, some of the other tomb forks. You know, those could be interchangeable. Like if you like, you know, Walrus is a new tomb fork. If you like that better than EMP, you could put that in here instead. And in the same way, if you don't like yield nodes, you could, you know, use one of these: Freeway, BioFi, DAG, Flex. You can watch some of my other videos on some of those. But basically what I have is you have your starting capital, and I think this particular spreadsheet works best for 10,000 because it's splitting between 5 projects, so that gives you $2,000 a piece. If you're going to do like 100,000, then you might want to go into more than 5 projects, because 20,000 to one project, you know, if that project falls apart for one reason or another, 20,000 is, you know, a lot more to lose. So if I was doing 100,000, I'd probably maybe split up between 10 projects, and maybe you add in 5 of these other ones. And if you don't know how to use Google spreadsheets, you know, maybe use this as a template to kind of learn how I do some of my formulas and how some of that works. But so for $10,000 in, yield nodes is kind of like the long-term play, where you're kind of using that as a savings account with a lower return. It's given about an 8% monthly return. So on your $2,000, you're going to be making $160 a month, and then I just would compound all that back in for the time being. Then another $2,000 into EMP, and then I showed you how I would separate it in EMP. And again, this is totally, like, don't feel that you need to follow this exactly. You know, you might, and there might be parts of EMP that you like better than I do. But I split $500 into Detonator, the EMP Ethereum farm, the eShare BNB farm, and 500 into the boardroom. And you can kind of, and these are the percentages about what we've been getting here recently. And then what I did up here, just if you're looking at my formulas, this is how you do compounding interest. So this is 1% for 30 days. So to do 1% for 30 days, you do 1.01 to the 30th power, and then you have to subtract out your initial 1. So I think that's right. If it's not, you know, some mathematician check me. I'm on vacation. I'm not supposed to be doing math. But anyway, so if you did this with the numbers that we've had in the past and in the foreseeable future for EMP, these are the returns that you're looking at. And then how I split it up was for all the projects. So yield nodes is kind of like, in this spreadsheet, is kind of like the long-term play. And then each of these more DeFi plays, I take half of it and compound back into EMP, and then the other half I put into yield nodes. So the result is we're trying to grow this yield nodes position, which is safer. And again, you could, if you don't feel like yield nodes is that safe, you could do one of these other ones instead. This is supposed to say Ethereum. So I did that with EMP, put half of it in, and you know, how often you go in and do this really depends on how much you have in there, because there are going to be some BNB fees. So if you're going into the, we'll say the Detonator, and you're claiming out $5, well then that's not necessarily worth it to do it because of the BNB fees. So you have to, again, this is not like just a plug in the numbers then go do it type thing. You have to kind of think through it for your situation. But that's what I do with EMP. And then the second one is Grape, and Grape is maybe like my number 2 project right now. They've just been killing it here recently through the bear market, which I love to see. But I put another 2,000 into Grape, and that's been getting about 50% returns when you spread it out. Grape Mim liquidity pool. There, grape nodes, wine nodes, and the winery. That's the returns that we've been getting. So again, half back into Grape, half into yield notes. I do have drip on there. Again, the price is low, so I do think that there's a lot of room for growth. When you're doing the calculations, they have a 5%. You claim 1% a day, but there's a 5% fee. So it's 1.0095 to the 30th power for a month return. So it gives you about 33% return a month if you're compounding daily. And then again, half of it into yield nodes and half of it just compounding back into drip. And then the same with Elephant. And again, you can change these numbers. You could say, well, I don't want to do yield nodes. I want to take that out and only have 4 projects. So again, you're going to have to edit the spreadsheet. I can't do that for you. So this is saying put a fifth of that initial 10,000 into each of these. So if you got rid of one, you'd want to say, all right, now I'm only going to do a fourth, and then it'll change the numbers for you. So what it looks like after 1 month of doing that, and I only sent out this spreadsheet 6 months, and even that might be too much. You know, whenever people go back to some of my blueprints that I did 6 months ago, and they say, hey, this is not valid anymore. That's just the way that DeFi is. Like, this could look completely different in another 6 months. Although yield nodes and drip were on my blueprint 6 months ago also. But it could look completely different. So, you know, the further you go out, the less reliable these results are. So, like, I feel pretty comfortable going out like 2 or 3 months with this spreadsheet. I went out 6 months just to kind of show you how it could look, but you might want to, you know, take some of this rather than compounding. You might want to keep spreading it out even more. Again, it's just up to your risk tolerance to know what exactly to do. So, but after a month, you've poured a lot more into yield notes. Now it's making $280 a month. These have a little bit more in them, so they're growing. And again, if you, instead of putting into yield notes, if you've just compounded all of it, this would grow faster, but it'd be a little less safe. So again, you just have to kind of work through that for yourself. But that's after month 2, you'd make about 20. You'd have to be up to about 13,000. After month 3, about 16,000. After month 4, 21. Month 5, 26, and then for month 6, you'd be at 32K, and then this would actually be at the end. This is your value at the end of 6 months. So if everything went to plan, you'd be at 41K after 6 months. Okay, so again, so much could change. I know I'm going to get comments saying, there's no way this or that or the other thing. It could be, you know, significantly different than this. It could be way better than this. You know, drip, the price of drip might go 10x like it has, or 20x like it has in the past. So again, this is just maybe blueprint isn't the right word. Maybe it's more like a rough draft. We'll call it that. It's a rough draft of a blueprint, and you need to make the blueprint for yourself. Okay. This is just what I would do. If I had $10,000, this is probably exactly what I would do. And then I would just feel at the end of each month, hey, do I need to, maybe I really love grape and don't want to put any in yield nodes, and I just want to put, maybe I want to put all 10K in grape. I mean, there's a lot of different directions that you could go. So I hope this is helpful for you. Please do leave a like. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe. Please join me over, if you watched my video yesterday, please join me over at Sleep Money Club. I have my own dedicated channel there now, and if you want help putting together your blueprint, and some people didn't like that we're charging for access to this Discord server. I don't think people realize that, like, everyone charges for their time. So if, like, I'm going to be spending time in this Discord server, if I'm going to be helping people put together, you know, blueprints and answering questions and things like that, I mean, everybody charges for their time. So I don't really understand people being upset about that, but it is what it is. So hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody's enjoying the market being up today. I will see you in the next couple days from Southern California, and hope everybody has a good rest of your day.